Hello and welcome to Ode to Games. I'm Kevin Valleen, joined alongside Logan Plant. How you doing, Logan?
Good, Kevin. Almost E3, last
We're
show
we're
before.
almost there. This show feels a little bit pointless. We do have some
It
stuff to talk
does.
about. We've got some news items to talk about, but man, it really is just kind of the calm before the storm. By next week's show,
Yep.
we'll have a bunch more to talk about with E3. Zach's also here. How you doing, Zach?
I'm great. I'm excited. It'll be a
Yeah.
big week next week, not this week, but
No,
next
Not
week.
this
this
week.
week is
No.
is a little bit of a lull, but we've got some games coming out this week. A couple of
Yeah, it is kind of a big
PS5
week for
titles and a Switch
releases.
title. Ratchet and Clank, probably the biggest one, along with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and then Game Builder Garage, Game Maker Garage.
Yeah.
I forget the name of
Game
it
Builder.
sometimes. Game Builder Garage. All three of those are coming out this week. So before we get into the little bit of news that we do have, taking a look at these three games, I don't think either any of us have picked them up yet. Two of them are PS5 titles, so me and Zach
Yeah.
can't really play them yet. But out of these three titles, which of them are you kind of looking at as ones to play in the near future? Just out of curiosity.
For
Logan,
me,
oh, yeah, Zach,
well,
as a
I would like
non-PS5
to
owner.
play both PS5 games. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade specifically is just an addition to a game that I really loved that came out last year. So definitely want to play that in the future. And then Ratchet and Clank, a pure PS5 title, $70, looks amazing
$70.
from what I've seen as a semi fan of the franchise, only having played a couple of the games in the past. They're pretty good Sony platformers, so definitely interested in that. And I've been hearing some pretty good things about the people who've gotten their hands on it so far, so definitely want to check that out at some point. And then Game Builder Garage, which I'm assuming is on the Switch, I know almost nothing about.
You build games in a
Yeah,
garage.
that
Oh,
game looks
okay.
really cool.
Not
Uh,
sure if I'd ever pick that up. I'd have to do some more research into it, but
to me,
possibly.
it looks like it's in that vein of Mario Maker and WarioWare DIY, like a super charming, easy to pick up and create games. It looks like Dreams, but way easier because Dreams Creation Suite is
Oh, it's
incredibly
that
complicated.
game. Yeah, I
But
remember
yeah,
that.
this one looks a lot more intuitive and user friendly in a way that Nintendo's so good at. So that one's really cool. I'm not going to pick it up yet because it's a pretty busy time.
That
I've,
one
I've got a
got
lot
announced
going on.
not too long ago, right?
Yeah, only like 2 months ago, and it's
I
here.
remember that.
Yeah,
It's
so I,
fast.
I want that one in the future, but not yet. Intergrade, it's $20 for the DLC.
That's
Seeing it's
yeah,
like
the
3 to 5 hours
upgrade.
long. Yeah, to clear out 100 gigabytes.
Oh my. Yeah, how's
Uh,
the storage
This
space on the PS5 working
I
out for you? I know we were talking
I
about when it first came out that it wasn't going to be that
yeah,
big of a deal.
it's
Maybe.
still not. But now we're getting to the point where it's like I'm in the middle of a lot of games that I plan to go back to, and it's like Hitman 3, which Zach still has to help me get unstuck on. That thing is like 80 gigs, and it's just sitting there, and I want to go back and finish it in the near future, but it's like, yeah, it's getting to the point where every time I've wanted to install something new, there's been a clear choice to uninstall. But I think right now I'm like everything here I am actively playing, and so I don't know what I'm gonna do for to clear out 88 gigs or whatever it is, because I think you have to install the entirety of Remake
You
to get the
do.
Oh,
DLC.
You actually
DLC.
do.
That stinks. I wish I didn't. What happened to this supposed next gen feature of only install the content you want? Does anyone remember when we were talking about that on this show?
Do both
Because
consoles
that
have
sure would
that?
be nice.
I don't.
Or is it just I don't know?
I don't know
I
if
thought
it's
there was
like
this
it
show.
sounds like an Xbox thing. If I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, but Intergrade, playing that this weekend. Zach's coming up to visit, and we're playing Intergrade together. So we're since he doesn't have a PS5
I
yet,
don't
we're
have
gonna
to
do our
commit to buying a PS5 just yet. I still have these
we're gonna put that
workarounds
off a little bit
for
later,
now.
but
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna do the trade off the controller every 60 seconds as we did for games like Horizon Zero Dawn. So that should be a good time. And then Ratchet and Clank looks great, looks really good, but $70 for a 10-hour game is like really tough still. And yeah,
Is it 10 hours? Do you know that?
yeah, I've heard it takes like 18 hours to get the platinum.
Mm,
Wow, that is really short. I wasn't
probably
expecting
just
that.
2 playthroughs or something.
I
Yeah,
guess that makes sense for that type of game.
yeah, I think that the
10
length
hours
is
for the
fine. It's
platinum
just
is
that,
crazy.
and if you want to pay that, sure. But I didn't even finish Ratchet and Clank 2016. Um, But I do think that game looks really, really great, and I've of course been reading reviews, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's
really
fantastic." Good. So, but I'm not looking to do that yet. Yeah, we'll see. Probably not yet, because especially with Intergrade and stuff coming out, it's just not on the priority list right now. But it looks really, really good. That like visually, it's probably like maybe the best looking game right now. Is it fair to say that? You guys think?
It's one of a very few amount of PS5 exclusive games. What, that and Demon's Souls and Returnal, right? Is pretty much. Yep.
Those all look absolutely fantastic. I don't know personally which one looks the best.
Like,
they're different.
Pure PS5.
Ratchet Clank's a lot more stylistic, but I'm sure the like fur textures on Ratchet are out of this world. So
they're definitely the only Sony published PS5 exclusives. There might be some other next gen exclusives as well, but yeah, those are Sony's games only on PlayStation 5, and yeah, they all look amazing. And actually, real quick, I kind of wanted to go on a sidebar and say I had a new thought about God of War only being cross-gen on PS4 and PS5. Okay. Ragnarok. And
just God of War specifically, or like
any game? Games? Okay. Any game, but just kind of going back to the discussion we had last week, is that it's not just going to impact what the game looks like visually, it's also going to impact a lot of the things we experience in the gameplay. Like, I think about how games have that, you squeeze between these two tight walls for like 10 seconds, and that's a crutch so the next area can load. And that is something that these next-gen consoles shouldn't have to do, right? But because you are building it for the PlayStation 4, you still have to react to the limitations of that hardware. So things like that, like in the original God of War, right, when you're traveling between realms, you have to like go to that like in-between zone or whatever, and then go to the realm instead of being jump straight to. Like things like that I think would be gone if this was a just built for PS5 game, like squeezing through the cracks or these creative ways to avoid loading screens. I think that those are things that we're going to continue to see that maybe we won't see when a game is built straight up for the PS5. And I think it's little things like that might make an experience feel more next gen. When we play it, it'll still be like, yeah, they're masking load times, they're doing things because this game is also on PS4. So that was just a thought I had this week that I feel like we didn't really touch on last week when we were more talking about the visual side of things.
I guess that's true, specifically for God of War, because it was such a big deal that it was like a continuous shot and was just rolling throughout the entirety of the game. Where I feel like with other games, they had loading screens anyways. So maybe it wasn't as big of a deal, and if you go to PS5, those loading screens are just like almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is true with God of War, that maybe that would seep into the game design a little bit.
Yeah. But anyways, Kevin, do you have anything to add about these three games coming up?
Out of the three, I'd probably be most interested in Ratchet and Clank. I played through 2016's Ratchet and Clank. It was a good time, and I already thought that game looked really good. Like, that game came out 5 years ago on the PS4, and that thing already looked stunning. And seeing some gameplay of this one looks even better, and just like hopping between these areas and all the gunplay and the new weapons and things all look really good. But I'm in the same. Well, if I had a PS5, I'd be in the same boat. $70 is too much. I've said it before, where it's basically got to be a series that I've played for a long time and I'm super invested in. Like, basically at this point, if it's not like a Yakuza type game, or maybe like an Uncharted or something like that, some of these like huge games, I'm just not paying.
Would you for Horizon?
Horizon?
You really liked the first Horizon.
I did. Maybe. It also depends on if the PS4 version comes out for $60 and you get a free upgrade.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way it's going to work like that.
You never know.
It already didn't for Miles Morales, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm pretty sure. It's like a $20 thing.
So it's a bit of a tough sell. And for Ratchet and Clank, I don't know if I like the one that I played enough to pick it up for $70. But considering the fact that I don't have a PS5 now, I don't think that's going to be an issue, because I assume that by the time I do have a PS5 and I'm ready to play Ratchet and Clank, it will probably be on sale somewhere.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I've been monitoring Demon's Souls because I just want to pick that thing up cheap just to see what it looks like. I think from what I've seen, it looks amazing. I just want to try it, even though I don't think it's something I'd ever beat. So I just want to get it for like $20 and play around in it for a few hours. but that thing has not dropped below 60. It's been out 7 months. Sony just had the days of play sale, and it was on sale for $60. And I'm like, oh man,
That's also
are
like
these
a
things
really
gonna
nasty
drop?
feeling too when it's on sale for the price that you feel like you should be paying
Yeah.
for it.
That does suck.
$60.
Yeah.
As for Intergrade, I played Final Fantasy VII Remake late, and I'm gonna do that again with Intergrade. Like I personally don't feel any sort of rush to play it. I'll get to it eventually. It'll probably be a thing where on the cusp of like the next remake part 2, whenever that comes out, I'll probably pick this one up and play through the DLC before that comes out.
For a while.
But I don't feel any specific rush. And then Game Builder Garage, I've never been the most creative person when it comes to like creating things, whether that be like creating your own game types or creating things like Minecraft. I'm not like super creative, so I don't think I get too much out of it, but it definitely looks cool for those people that do dive super far into it and can really come up with some cool stuff. But it is just waiting for a PS5. I took a shot on it this morning on Amazon Japan on Fridays. Around 9 a.m. it drops. I got it into my cart, and then it freaked out. So
Sucks.
Clicked on the
close.
shipping address. It was like, do you want to use your regular address? And I'm like, yes, I do. Clicked it, and it's like, it's gone.
Oh, so close.
So, yeah.
It's kind of disappointing because I remember at launch, you were like, I'm not going for it because I don't want to go through the stress of trying to find one of those things. And that was one of your main reasons for not picking one up. And now here we are, still an issue.
I mean, I did not think it'd be this bad for this long. And I feel like a lot of other people didn't. Like, when that news dropped, a couple of weeks ago, where they're like, we're not expecting the supply issues, supply and demand issues to get better until partway through next year. I feel like that was a shock to everybody. I feel like most people were like, all right, even if it's not done by this summer, you feel like as it rolls like right into the early part of next year, it should be fine. But that really doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, and it makes me think about the Switch Pro announcement that is still not come.
That's going to be a mess.
Yeah. Where is that?
I'm almost wondering if that was internally delayed because of this, maybe? I don't know. Because I think we talked about last week, the reports say it uses a slightly different part that is not in as high demand as the parts for the PlayStation and Xbox are. But still, it still hasn't come, and a ton of reputable outlets were reporting that it was coming. So maybe it was internally delayed because of this chip shortage. Don't know, but we'll see if that ever becomes a thing. But yeah, it's brutal how hard these things are still to find 7 months in, especially now on PlayStation specifically. The games are coming out for it.
Right.
Like Ratchet and Clank and Intergrade are two pretty big releases that you can only play on PS5 right now. So yeah, it's an issue.
I mean, for me personally, it's not until the next Judgment game comes out, Lost Judgment, in September. So I've got a couple more months to work on it and see if I can snag one up.
Gonna creep up on you. That's not that far off.
It's true. Yeah, I say September like it's super far off, but that's only, the release is about 3 months away. And that'll be here before you know it. But, yeah. All right, do we want to get into the little bit of news that we do have this week, Logan?
Yeah, we do. I want to start with this tweet from Nintendo of America that says, pause the video to see your battle mode. What's your favorite? And it's a tweet about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What are we doing? Why are we tweeting about Mario Kart 8? That does not...
They're drumming up hype for Mario Kart 9.
I wish.
No, they're drumming up hype for their next Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Switch bundle.
Yes.
Making another one.
A pro Switch with Mario Kart 8.
It won't be, but even if they added DLC to Mario Kart 8, I would be happy. I just want new tracks, man. How long do I have to say it? I've been craving it for like over a year. Like I've been talking on this show. I'm ready. We just passed the 7-year anniversary
been a long time.
of Mario Kart 8. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous how long it's been.
Yeah, I feel like it's a completely different ball game for people who played it on Wii U. Like for Switch, I'm like, it's been a little while, but I picked it up when I picked up my console 4 years ago, and we're starting to get to the point where I could use another one. But yeah, for the people who've been playing this thing since the Wii U, that's an eternity.
And fortunately, it is my favorite Mario Kart. I think it's the best. So it's not like the last one was like Mario Kart Wii or something, which I don't love. And I've just been sitting here with Mario Kart Wii for 7 years. Like, I do think Mario Kart 8 is the peak of the series, but still, those 48 tracks can only last so long before it's like, okay,
You need some new ones.
I've done these a million times. But anyways, that's not a news story. That's just something that I am very personally invested in. Let's talk about Sports Story. There was finally some exciting news about Sports Story. I thought it was
After like
weird.
8 months of nothing on Twitter,
They're back.
they finally post.
They're back.
Yeah, so they tweeted twice. This is Sidebar Games, developer of Golf Story and now Sports Story, and they tweeted, Sports Story update. Everything is coming together now. Please look forward to more updates going forward. We have much to share. And then instantly after, I thought this was going to be like a stream of like little details about the game, but they released one picture and says, everybody wants to know the first step to turning pro. Wall bounders is that first step, and it's basically like hitting a tennis ball off a wall, like you would do to practice, just rallying. And then that's it.
There is no second step.
No.
There's only one step.
But it was nice to finally hear from them. We hadn't heard from them from last year when the game got delayed. They hadn't tweeted something since October 13th of 2020. So it's been a really long time since we've heard from the team. And Zach, or Kevin, it was your prediction?
My prediction was that
be a drop?
It's going to be a drop at E3. It could still happen.
Looking like it. She got something right.
Speaking of my E3 predictions from last week, I got stomped instantly. I said that Saints Row.
The episode was even up.
Yeah.
I think it was within like the hour. I think the episode came up, and like 3 hours later, they tweeted that, among other things, Saints Row would not be showing up. It was just so weird to me because they have this. They announced that they're doing this showcase, and then it's like, okay, Saints Row will probably be here, along with they've got Dead Island, they've got Metro, and then there was another big one. And then they just come out and tweet and be like, yeah, none of those games are going to show up. So it's like, okay, cool. None of your big games are going to be there. I don't know why you're doing this presentation, but whatever. But yeah, hopefully this one could still be true. I'll take half credit if it shows up at the very least. But man, would it be cool if it just got dropped next Tuesday on the Nintendo presentation. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, it would be awesome. That would make the event for us. We all love Golf Story. It's just so great. I was playing around the other day just after this tweet drop because I'm ready. Because I never replayed the story mode in Golf Story, and it's really funny. Like, the writing is so good. And for the last 3 years since we all finished that game, I've just played multiplayer with both of you, and like that story and that writing is something that I haven't experienced in a while. So a sequel to be able to do that and whatever multiplayer modes they have, it'd be awesome if online was a part of Sports Story too. Cool. That would be super cool. But yeah, super hyped. Hopefully it's not another year of radio silence before we hear from
that. It would be very disappointing if they come out and they tweet this and then they don't make an appearance whatsoever at E3. Like, I'm not talking about it. It would be disappointing if it didn't get dropped, but I'd be fine if it didn't happen if they needed more time. But it'd be really disappointing if E3 came and went and they didn't make an appearance. I feel like they should, but
definitely.
Who knows? We'll know by next week's show.
We will. Exactly. It's coming up. It's coming up soon. So then their E3, the week of announcements, kind of kicked off today, the day we're recording, with Jeff Keighley's kickoff live for Summer Game Fest 2021. I was sleeping through this event. I didn't catch it.
I was also sleeping.
Watched the updates afterwards.
Watched the whole thing. Yeah, I watched the entire thing. It was really long. It was way longer than I was expecting it to be. It started at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and it didn't get over till 12:45.
Jeez. All for what? 2 announcements?
Pretty long.
So
the big one is Elden Ring is coming out.
The thing that everyone was asking for Summer Games Fest. Thank God it got dropped. The internet would have been on fire if it had not.
So this is from FromSoft, Dark Souls developer, and George
From Software,
and it is. I don't know how much you guys are in tune with the Elden Ring community.
Not at all.
It's insane.
Yeah,
in a gross way or in a good way?
They have a Reddit that has basically been creating lore for this world that we had 2 teasers for the last 3 years. They have been just writing stories and creating characters and just talking about the world of Elden Ring for like over 2 years online.
It's really weird
And-
considering we knew almost nothing about this game. It got
Yeah.
dropped in like E3 of 2019, and everyone just lost their minds.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy, and now it's coming out pretty soon, 7 months away, and
It was like January 2022, which was way sooner than I was expecting. They really held off on the release date for this one, which I'm sure people are super happy about.
Right next
'Cause
to
if it-
Legends
it's like a push
Arceus.
name for it.
Arceus.
Oh, yep, that's
yeah,
true.
Yeah.
yeah. Do we anything else in January, or is I think that's it, right?
That's all I can think of off the top of my head. Those
Yeah.
are two pretty big hitters, though.
Oh yeah, a game. I don't think Zach's probably the most likely of us to play it, but
True.
probably not.
Was it on everything? I think it
It's
was
on PS4.
everything.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
PS4, PS5,
I mean,
Xbox One, Xbox Series.
wasn't your plan to have a PS5 by then, Zach? I would for Deathloop.
I would hope so. January, considering everything coming out closer to the end of the year, like September for Deathloop and Lost Judgment. So let's hope that even though the supply might not be there, I will at least give it my best effort by January.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was
So
watching
others-
that, I was just like, yeah, this is Dark Souls / Bloodborne. Cool.
So it is written
Cool
by
for the people that
a guy
really
who
love that
refuses to
stuff.
write his books.
But
I thought it was
yeah.
funny that George R. R. Martin was writing for this game while not writing for his books.
He's busy doing this other stuff, you know. He's got other stuff going on.
Yeah. So that's cool. That was, I think, one of the big question marks heading into this month of game announcements, along with, I don't know, if I had to say the biggest 3 question marks, I think Halo Infinite is huge. What's that game going to look like? I think, is Elden Ring going to show up? And then I think Breath of the Wild 2. I think those are the 3 games that people are like really wondering about. And this is the first one. You could throw Metroid Prime 4 in there, but I personally don't think I'm going to see it. I don't think that's going to be a part of this
It's
either
still
yet.
a little ways off.
Yeah, unless maybe like a teaser or just like a, hey, development still exists. But I think Breath of the Wild 2, we're going to see that. Anyways, other announcements from this thing. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands arrives in early 2022. This is from Gearbox, developer of Borderlands. You guys know a lot more
spin-off.
about Borderlands than me.
Yeah.
Take it away.
But it's not a spin-off, according to
No.
I don't know how much closer you can get to a spin-off. Like, if it's with the same characters,
Yes.
possibly in
At least
some
one
sort of the same
confirmed
universe
same character.
with like the same gameplay style. How is that? How is that?
Yeah,
not
it's
spin-off?
a looter shooter with the Borderlands art style. It's Tiny Tina, who has appeared in, I believe, every Borderlands game.
I think it's the characters that do it for me. Like, if none of the characters from Borderlands are in there whatsoever, but it has like the same style, like, okay, then you can say that it's not connected to Borderlands in any way. But if you have characters that are from Borderlands specifically, namely the titular character, I don't know how that's not a spinoff or part of the Borderlands universe. It's its own standalone thing. You can have a spinoff be a standalone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
But I didn't actually see
agree.
the trailers. Zach, how did it look?
It looked, I don't know, it looked like a very traditional fantasy game trailer with like a blacksmith hammering a sword, a dragon flying through the sky, but it was all like cel shaded like Borderlands. And then this dude standing at the top of like a tower just whipped out a machine gun and started shooting the dragon. It was like Wonderlands by Gearbox or whatever. So it definitely has a Borderlands kind of comedic feel to it, but I think they're going pretty hard into the medieval fantasy minus the Borderlands style shooting for the guns. So I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be like, but I have to imagine it's going to be very similar to Borderlands.
I would assume so. Since it's not a spinoff. It's gonna,
So
it's gonna be
weirdly
very similar.
enough, Tiny Tina wasn't anywhere in the trailer, so I'm not really sure how she fits into the game, but the game's named after her.
That's interesting.
Was not anywhere in the trailer.
It's not like you can really wait to reveal that when it's in the title. Like, it's not really
Yeah,
a
I
reveal
know.
if she shows up. Interesting.
The weird thing, the weird thing was that when the title faded in, it was like Wonderlands. Then it revealed the Tiny Tina, like it was a big surprise. Like, okay,
Cool. All right.
Tiny Tina.
They'll probably be good. Borderlands are
And
solid.
then
Yeah, maybe.
you guys can chime in if there's anything else you saw from this list that stuck out to you. But the only other 2 things that jump out to me are Death Stranding. Director's Cut is coming out on PS5 soon. Kojima says.
Yes.
And that's it. And there was a trailer, Zach, you said, and you said it was the weirdest trailer ever, which sounds on brand.
Which sounds like
Yes.
Death Stranding.
But okay, but it wasn't Death Stranding weird. Like it wasn't, trippy like a tar baby on a beach. It was a comedic trailer where Sam Bridges, the star of Death Stranding, was in a it looked like the first level from Metal Gear Solid, with the soldiers patrolling the warehouse and you're on the second floor railing, but it was in the Death Stranding engine, and he was there and he just went into a side room, and this was a complete homage to Metal Gear Solid, Kojima's other series. He just like stares at a box that he grabs off a shelf, he dumps out the contents, and then he just like hops in the box and like gets into the fetal position, and then he just gets out of the box, he's like nah, and then he puts it back on the shelf and keeps going. And I have no idea what that has to do with the director's cut. I don't know if the director's cut is going to be a lot funnier than the original game because there wasn't really any comedy.
Some jokes in there.
Yeah, I think that'd be amazing because now I kind of want to play it because I was a fan of Death Stranding. But if they had some weird comedy in there and a bunch of homages to other games that Kojima has had his hand in, so I have no idea what it's going to be. I really don't. But I thought the trailer, it really captured my attention. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, so an even more bloated experience than the original.
It was pretty bloated, yeah.
For Death Stranding.
$70 possibly.
And then your latest Fall Guys update, 2B from Nier Automata is coming as a costume to Fall Guys.
2Bean is what I've been seeing.
Bean.
That's good. 2Bean.
Yeah.
It does. But yeah, so that was that event. Also, for those of you that care about Tunic, like I do, which is that Zelda 2D top-down Zelda-inspired game starring
How long
a fox
has it been since that got announced?
Approximately 3 million years. I think it was announced in like 2016.
Oh my god.
17.
Oh my god. For a relatively smaller game.
Yeah, they announced a new thing about a new demo that's coming this year, so that's the latest on.
Okay, well, at least it's not dead.
Yeah, yeah. So I really want to play that game whenever it comes out, but yeah, kind of crazy. Moving on though, Battlefield 2042 was officially revealed, and it does not have a campaign or a battle royale mode. It is focusing exclusively on multiplayer, which is going to have 128 players on PC and current gen consoles and 64 players on last gen consoles. So no campaign, $70. I'm gonna say my piece real quick. People are losing their minds over there. It's like
good way or a bad way?
In a bad way. They're like, you're charging $70 for a game without a campaign. What are you gonna spend most of your time doing in Battlefield? You're gonna put 100. If you buy it, you're gonna put 100 hours in multiplayer. That's a fine value for $70. It doesn't. Absolutely. People complain when it's a short campaign. People complain when there's no campaign. People just complain, and that's just been bugging me because it's like I don't think it's an issue. Like the $70 thing, yeah, if you have an issue with that in general, sure, but I don't think it's an issue that it's a $70 game with no campaign because it just means they're going to beef up the multiplayers.
That's what you hope,
right? Yeah, you hope so.
That is what the hope is. I mean, there's no battle royale mode, so that's one thing that won't be in the online mode. That's not necessarily a bad thing if they fill it out with other game modes. I think for people who did play Battlefield for its single player content, that does suck for them. Just the fact that it isn't.
Those few. Yeah.
I mean, there are people out there, so for those people, yeah, it does suck. But in general, I look at games like this. I look at games like a bunch of like the sports games where they're $70 on next gen consoles, and I'm just like, these just feel gross in general because these are the types of games that have so much like heavy monetization to get you to spend more and more money. That just in general, whether it's Battlefield or whether it's whether it's NBA 2K or something like that, these are the types of games that just in general I look at the $70 price tag and I'm like, that is not that is not worth it with all the other stuff you just jam in there. But
yeah,
the 128 players looks cool. That'll be crazy.
Yeah,
be massive.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yep. So I played Battlefield 3. Thought it was pretty good, but that was it. That was my only That was back in the brief FPS era of my life.
I think a Battlefield was recently available on PS Plus that I saved.
It was, yeah. Battlefield
Remember which
5
one it
or
was.
Battlefield 1. I don't remember which.
I've been 5.
Played Battlefield Bad
I
Company.
think 5.
Way back in the
Okay.
day for a little bit. It was all right.
Yeah.
Nice. And then last piece of news here. This is from Microsoft. Phil Spencer saying they're working on a streaming stick for xCloud and an Xbox TV app, partnering with TV manufacturers to bring Xbox bundled in with smart TVs, as well as a stick that you can plug in and stream Game Pass to. And he says that there's no timing yet, but previously in an interview he said that they were looking to make this stuff available within the next 12 months. So this is something that could be coming soon. And apart from streaming technology not really being quite there yet for many people around the world, this is kind of a huge move from one of the market's leading console makers to basically abandon a console. Obviously, still have it support, but kind of take that step into moving towards a more streaming, digital-friendly space.
It's pretty on brand for Microsoft, though. I mean, this is the direction that we know they've been wanting to go for years. Ever since they expanded beyond Xbox to PC, that was kind of the start, where they're like, we're not going to be tied just to the Xbox platform with a console that you plug into the TV. You can get your games on PC too. And, you know, for them, it's basically any way that they can get Game Pass to people. And this makes a bunch of sense that you can lower the barrier of entry a little bit if you have a smart TV and you can get this streaming device. And then, boom, there you go. You've got Game Pass, and then you get people into the ecosystem. And maybe they just play it streaming like that, or maybe they get interested in the rest of Xbox's offerings, then they go buy a console down the line. But either way, whether or not they end up buying a console or something, Xbox wins.
Yeah, and that's just such an enormous market of people that you have at your disposal at that point. If you say, hey, you buy a TV, there's an Xbox app there, they're the only one going to have. Like, that's a pretty big deal. Xbox is all about bringing people into the ecosystem and say what hundreds of millions of people are going to have smart TVs eventually. If even a fraction of them get into Xbox via this route, that's a huge number of consumers that are joining the Xbox platform. So yeah, it is a big win. And yeah, I used to be kind of afraid of like the streaming future of the stick, but I'm kind of all for it now if it works, especially with a service like Game Pass. It's the perfect partner for it, where it's like I don't have to buy these games. That was the problem we had with Stadia, right? I'm buying the right to stream this game. Right. I can't even download it and save it to my console. It's like with Game Pass, I think that kind of goes out the way. No one has any problem just streaming Netflix. Like, I don't own this show. I don't care. I'm going to watch it. It's part of my fee, and I'm done. I think that makes me a lot less worried about it, because it's like, yeah, I'm just paying to access the service, not paying to access this game that could then be ripped away from me.
Right. And the other thing, at least for now, is that Xbox does give you another option to buy those games if you have a Xbox console. Where if you look at Stadia, that was the only option. You buy the right to stream it, and that's it. But here, if you got Game Pass, yeah, sure, you'll stream it, and you don't own it. But they do give you the option, at least right now, if you really want to have the console and buy the game if you want to own it. So at least now they give you both avenues, which is good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's it for news this week. Everyone's saving their news for next week.
Did you see that Monkey Ball Banana Mania got raided in Brazil?
Whoa! No, I did not.
No.
Let's go.
Yeah, I saw that a little bit earlier and kind of forgot about it. I think that's about it. Was there an actual announcement to that?
No. It's still just been ratings.
Okay.
We could see it next week.
We could.
You very well could.
I mean, the ratings
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, so this was from just a couple of hours ago. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania has been rated in Brazil. The classification covers all platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. This is coming from Nintendo Life.
So it could be in Nintendo's presentation. Is Sega doing something next week?
I thought they were.
I feel like they are. Yeah, they are. So who knows? This could be the time. We already got our Sonic news, so they're not going to take up too much time of whatever they're doing with that. So give me Monkey Ball.
Yeah, Sega will be there.
Yeah.
So Banana Mania. Oh boy.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Still not very high hopes on that one.
No.
It's probably just going to be the same as the other ones.
Direct sequel to
Crappy
Banana
ones.
Blast.
But I mean, yeah, just something to possibly look forward to for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
That's it. That's it for the news.
That wraps it up for news this week, so I guess we'll move on to what we've been playing. Also kind of light, just like the news, I know for myself personally, and I think for you guys as well. Kevin, I know you've been playing more Xenoblade, is that it?
Same thing, yeah. But I've gotten to the point where it's all new stuff. So
Okay.
For me personally, that's kind of exciting because I had seen all of this stuff beforehand, and now I'm at the point where it's all entirely new, and there's still a good half of the game to go. But yeah, it's good. I really enjoy quality of life features of being able to like see quest icons on the map and not have to like search around for them all the time. I appreciate some of the things that they were able to do with this remake. It is real good time. I like it a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm playing? You see what I'm playing, Kevin?
I thought that was a lie.
It's not. It's true.
No way.
Really? I have restarted God of War 2018.
So is this on PS5 then?
I'm playing on PS5.
Man, you used your storage space for God of War.
I did, and
what
I'm playing
it.
I started over.
I have to delete
it. I downloaded it. I don't have I still have the physical copy, but I just downloaded it. PS Plus collection. And I started completely over. I'm playing in the new enhanced performance mode, which runs at 60 FPS and looks amazing. That game looks really, really good. And I'm gonna do it. It's
really.
It's,
Did you ever you beat that gnarly boss?
He did.
So that means you got to do it again
to beat the boss, and then he stopped playing.
I am playing on the easiest difficulty.
Okay.
I am playing on the difficulty called "Give Me a Story" because I just want to see the story because I've heard it's good. I've heard it's great.
It's good, yeah. And it's been 3 years and you still don't know how it ends.
Yeah, I have not been spoiled. I don't know anything. So
yeah, seriously, just play through it. Easy mode, do it. Get that story.
I'm not loving it so far. Something about that game just does not click with me.
You just hate that game. Why are you even playing it?
Because I want to finish it. And the PS5 patch is pretty good. Yeah. It runs real nice. It looks really good. So I'm playing God of War. I'm about an hour and a half in. Stay tuned.
I'm gonna finish it.
I will stay tuned. Yeah, the more that I think about God of War and the more that I like see news about Ragnarok, I'm more like, that is a game that I have no interest in picking up on launch. Like, I enjoyed my time with God of War. It was a fine time. But there's no way I'm playing that on launch and paying full price for that. It's one of those ones where I wait until it's like $20, like God of War did on PS4, and then I'd be like, hey, I'll give this one a shot. But I
Didn't you buy God of War on launch?
I did.
We all bought it on launch.
We all did.
Yeah.
But now, looking back on it now and looking at God of War Ragnarok in the future, I would not do that again. I just don't think it's my type of game.
It's like the game that just, I feel like Zach likes it the most of all of us.
Yeah,
There's
for sure.
just a big disconnect from how much the three of us like it to how much the world likes it.
I know, like Game of the Year 20... Was it Game of the Year 2018?
It swept basically a Game of the Year across the board in 2018. It is number one on almost every list of best PS4 games that you can find. Yes. It didn't even make our top 10 show. It
did not. It did not.
Of our top 10 show.
Yeah,
we all really we liked this game. It's just not. It didn't resonate like that with us, and maybe it's because we weren't God of War fans going into it.
I feel like a lot of people weren't. A lot of people, because this is a reboot. I feel like a lot of people jumped in for the first time.
A really polished game. The combat was great. Great story. That's so many games nowadays. There's just gotta be something else.
Maybe it is that it blends in a little bit with PlayStation's other titles. I don't know.
It did, especially around that time.
I mean, I love PlayStation exclusives, but they're all third-person action games. All of them.
Are.
They're like all the same.
Really
they're not the same. They're different between Spider-Man, Horizon, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted, Last of Us. But you see a PlayStation exclusive, and you're like, yeah, that's a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And God of War is just not one of my favorite of that category.
Yeah. I liked Ghost of Tsushima way more than I liked God of War.
Me too. From what I played, Ghost of Tsushima is phenomenal. Uncharted's better. Last of Us is better. Horizon is better. Spider-Man's better. I like all these games way more.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was about.
It's still good. It's still a really good game.
We do have those like three stages of where Zach likes it. I feel like a fair amount. You like it. You like it a good bit. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's a good time. I played it for a while, put it down, came back and finished it. I enjoyed my time, but it didn't blow me away or anything.
I don't think I ever took a break.
And then Logan's like, yeah. We've got like the 3 levels We don't have the
My
fourth one of like
favorite-
this is like God tier, but
My absolute favorite part of that is the single shot camera work. I think that's super, super cool. I really love that feel. I think it does make it feel more grounded and like intimate and more personally involved in what's happening. That's awesome. But like the combat, I think it's just fine, and the story, it's not totally grabbing me. It's like I haven't gotten far enough, I think, for it to really separate itself. But to me, it's like if I want to play a game about a gruff, bearded man escorting a child, I'll play the Last
We go.
So that's yeah.
yeah, I look at the
that's where I'm
story of God of War, and I'm like, yeah, there are PlayStation exclusives that I enjoy the story of much more than God of War. But yeah, the one camera shot is cool.
Best PS4 game of all time.
Yeah.
On most lists, on really most.
The vast
Yeah,
majority.
It is really surprising that seems to be basically the consensus. Is that is number one? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to talk to someone whose favorite game of all time is God of War PS4 and just see what they have to say about it.
Like,
I want to know what
also
that
think-
connect
I
is
also
right
think
there.
it impacts people a lot more who have kids. Actually, I think that's a thing too. Like we're just might not be the.
I don't have a
target
little
audience
Atreus
for-
running around. I can't appreciate
Yeah,
God of
or-
War. I don't
Nope.
believe it.
Yeah, so I don't know, but just we'll see if I get through it. I want to because it is like the PS4 game in so many people's eyes. It is the game, and I'm like, I haven't finished it yet. Maybe I'm missing something that happens later, and I'm not like I need to like it because everyone else does. But I just want to see. I want to see if there's something in that second half that really grabs me or not. And if not, that's fine. But at least that's kind of where I'm at.
Right.
But the PS5 patch is gorgeous. That's another big reason I'm playing.
Probably a
It's
good
the
help
60 frames.
to push you along. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It looks really great on my TV.
Yeah. I don't know if you weren't enjoying it before, I don't know if the second half is gonna completely change your mind. There's some cool moments.
I would
There's
say
some cool fights.
it's a very consistent game the whole way through. There's very few standout moments. I'd say the first boss fight and the last boss fight are the standout moments, but they stand out in about the exact same way. So if the first boss fight doesn't grab you, it might not be your game.
But give it a shot, though.
Absolutely, definitely worth playing.
Play through it, and I'm curious what the final thoughts are going to be for all of us. Once we all
give our
beat it.
God of War spoiler cast.
Yeah, we'll finally do it.
Finally,
years later.
3 years later.
Yeah. And you guys will be like, I don't remember this game at all.
I'm having a hard time
Be
picking
like,
out a lot of the
who
things
this
that
kid?
happen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm playing right now. I kind of dang busy. I haven't been, so I just decided to I was craving it. The Ragnarok news had me thinking about it. Just going for it. We'll see. Everything could change next week when Sports Story drops.
yeah, when my prediction comes true. When that comes true.
Yeah, I've been all over the place this year.
Hopefully.
I honestly think I got burned out from beating 50 games in 2020. I just
that was
not
crazy.
been playing as much this year. Like I've beaten like 3 games this year, and we're in June. Like I just haven't really. But yeah.
Oh, something will happen. We got E3 coming right around the corner. Maybe that'll reinvigorate things. Whether that is Sports Story dropping or whether that's another big announcement that comes out, who knows?
I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's like a big Breath of the Wild 2 feature at E3, I can see myself going down a Zelda route and playing some Zelda games this summer just to prepare.
Yeah.
I want that game so bad. I really.
I know a lot of people.
Zach, you been playing anything this week?
Anything else?
Logan?
Said you've been playing anything else?
Oh yeah. Well,
I've been playing one game.
yeah. In terms of single player games, I haven't been playing much as of late because a lot of my time this week has been taken up by the new Minecraft update.
I saw that. I updated my game.
Yeah.
But it's only part 1, right? It's more so like mobs
so it's
and
the
blocks.
first half. It's called the Caves and
Cliffs and Caves is the
Cliffs and Caves update. Thank you. It's called the Cliffs and Caves update, and it adds a bunch of stuff, but most notably, and like you said, it is being split into 2. The caves and cliffs haven't been added yet. All the items and stuff have been added, but they're waiting until the end of the year to add the actual cave part and the cliff part. So me and my buddy, who have played a lot of Minecraft in the past, we started a new world just to check out a lot of this new stuff. And there were some pretty cool additions. There's axolotls now, which are tiny little amphibious creatures. They're pink and they've got I'm sure you know what an axolotl is if you see it. There's Dr. Shrunk in Animal Crossing is an axolotl.
Okay.
The pink things with the little weird tendrils on their head.
Yeah.
I love those things. I think they're adorable, and the Minecraft ones are even cuter. So I had to go in and see those. I'm glad they got added right away.
Had to go in and kill them.
I did. Those things are vicious. We put one
really?
in a pool with a squid, and it just like murdered the squid for no reason. So apparently they're extremely violent in Minecraft, which is fine, because I want one as a pet so it can protect me.
Bringing it along in the caves, and it's just like flopping on the ground.
And then they added, I don't know if this is a part of the update, but diamonds are way harder to find now.
Really?
And they added new deep slate stone down, like around where diamonds usually spawn. They also added copper ore, which is good for almost nothing. And
I love it when they introduce the new like metal types that do absolutely nothing.
Literally nothing. Like they added
awesome.
copper. It's everywhere, and it's good for making one thing. And you can make it with like 2 copper. So I don't really.
Hopefully, when the second half of the update drops, more stuff will come with it.
But copper is used to make a periscope that you like a pirate, so you can like look through a periscope and see off into the distance.
That's kinda cool.
And it's my new favorite thing in the game. So it's really, really cool. And you use it, but you make it using copper and amethyst. They also added little amethyst chunks underground in this game. So 2 new items used to make one of the coolest items in Minecraft now, in my opinion. And
cool.
And that with the additions of the axolotls and the really cool goats, and that it's just a lot of smaller things. So not a huge update, but enough to pull me and my friend back in for a little while. And I'm pretty excited for the when they do finally add the caves and cliffs at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think
which will
like,
be nice.
We've got our world now. I mean, to get those, you kind of have to like create new worlds or like go out to a different section of the world.
The way
it
it works
right?
is that so if we go into our pre-existing world, we'll be able to make all the items, but any chunk we've loaded, which is a lot of them given how much we've traveled in that server, none of the new stone or anything will be loaded in those chunks. We'd have to find new chunks way far away.
Yeah, which is disappointing
which
because
would be a
I
pain.
do really want to experience that new one. Like I saw that the first half of the update came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, this looks fine, but I'm kind of more so waiting for part 2 when the actual cliffs and caves show up. But yeah,
based on the videos I've seen of those massive caves, they look super cool. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
We'll have to jump back in whether or not that's in a new world or not, but I would be very interested in hopping back in when that update comes out sometime this year.
It's been a fun time. Minecraft is always a good time. Whenever I don't play it for a long time, I miss it really bad. So it always feels good to go back in and just screw around for a while. I'm in a new world, especially with a bunch of new stuff. So that was what took up a lot of my time this week. I'm like not very far in a lot of different games right now, so I'm having a hard time deciding what to finish. Like I've got
Mario!
Titanfall, I got Mario, I got Jack 3.
You're Mario. We're halfway through the year, dude.
I give up. I'm officially not. It's not gonna happen.
Dude, then
I
just
changed
move
my
on to
mind.
Galaxy. Just play Galaxy.
Oh, I don't want to play any of them. They're all bad.
That is very
I don't
much
want to do
not
it.
true.
You can't make me.
Odyssey exists.
3D Mario is
games.
garbage. From 64 to Odyssey.
Dang.
Screw
You do
3D
not
Mario.
Enjoy 3D World.
Good. But it doesn't. It's first of all, I played that with you guys, which was the vast majority of the fun, and it does play different than the rest of them, I assume.
Zach, giving up.
I
Throwing
don't
in
know.
the towel. Mario just beat him
maybe
down.
I'll go back. It's so. Oh God.
Go
Maybe
back.
I'll
You
find a
have to play
second
Mario
wind.
Odyssey.
I might find a second wind at some point within the rest of the year.
You're missing out on some quality games.
I gotta start off so rough though. It's frustrating.
Look,
I should just have played it backwards.
we all played through all the Sonic game crap. If you can do that, if you can bang your head against the wall on Sonic Heroes for hours, you can play 64.
It's fair. That's true.
All right.
All right, maybe I'll give it a go. That's the thing that I need to finally sit down and finish.
Clock's ticking.
Clock is ticking.
It's already
If I
June.
don't make it, then no hard feelings because I will have just moved Year of Mario to 2022.
Okay.
If it doesn't happen this year, I doubt it's ever going to happen. It didn't happen
never
this year.
know.
And you said it was going to. But we'll see.
I was so adamant 6 months ago.
And That's just
Hey, I have beaten one 3D Mario this year.
You did.
You can't say I haven't tried.
It's true.
Just tried very little.
Well, that's usually how it goes.
All right, so E3 will be in a couple of days. By the time we're recording next, E3 will have happened. We'll be able to digest all of the announcements. But because we are recording this one just a few days before E3, we thought we'd sneak in just a couple of tiny little E3 things before the event does kick off here. Last week we did predictions of stuff that we really think is going to happen. Some of that stuff didn't happen. But
Nope.
but now we're just going to be doing wishes. So these things may have very little odds or no odds of happening, but they would just be wishes of what you would want to see in the perfect E3 for you. So who wants to start it off? Logan,
I have
you seem
a wish.
Zach, okay. I was going to say Logan seems to be
want
most
there.
interested, but
This is mostly a wish, but also an insult. I want there to be a new Viva Pinata so Kevin can finally shut up about it.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Hey, it'd be
on.
worth it for me. It would be
Would,
very
yeah,
much
that's
worth
true.
it. Except I wouldn't shut up about it because then it would happen and then I'd be talking
Just be talking about
until,
it every
until
day.
it comes
until
out,
it
and then it
came
comes out,
and then
I'd be
after
talking-
it comes out,
then I'd be like, oh god, I gotta get an Xbox. I don't know if my PC can run it, or it'd be a whole
every
thing.
day.
Logan, any or
Wait, well, that wasn't my actual.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you...
I do. For
Zach,
Microsoft, the biggest thing by far that I want to see is the new Fable game. At least a little bit more, not necessarily gameplay or release date, but maybe just another cinematic trailer. Because the first one they released had very little, if nothing, in it. So really, any news would be nice. It is the type of game that I would buy any Xbox for. A piece, maybe
Even
playing it
though
on
the
a
last
high-end
two Fable
PC. I
games
have
are
to
kind of
imagine.
meh or bad.
I know, but that's how good that the first Fable game was to me, because I barely ever even touched the second and third one. I just have such good fond memories of the first one, and it was such a good game, and I think that if they try really hard, they can harken back to what it used to be, as opposed to what it had become by the third game, and then all the card spin-offs or whatever the crap they were doing when I wasn't paying attention.
Didn't happen. The Connect game.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of went off the rails real fast. So I'm just hoping that this is more of a reboot or a revival of the franchise, because I think it could be a huge staple for Microsoft exclusives.
They just gotta bring it back to that first game. Really.
Absolutely. I think it could be a heavy hitter.
All right.
A Witcher heavy hitter.
Any other wishes from you over there for E3?
Yeah, mostly for Nintendo, it's Sports Story, obviously, and also Waluigi and Smash. I have to ask for it every time. I have to get a Sakurai that it'll happen. I'm not going to, but you never know. I've got him up there. I got a plush. I got a amiibo. He's everywhere. He can't be
Just not in
stopped.
Smash.
Waluigi Fever. He is everywhere
He can very
but
much
Smash.
be stopped.
And then I wrote something down. I forgot what it was. Oh god.
Wrote it down and forgot.
Oh yeah, Square Enix. I just want Final Fantasy stuff. I like Final Fantasy. So either Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy the Dark Souls one, or Final Fantasy 7 Remake 2, which is much less likely. I'd be the most happy to see that, but I think it's the least likely, so I'll settle for the Team Ninja rumors, or just some more about 16 would be nice. But
what happens
I
if they
think
come out and they're just like, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate is out, everybody? All right, moving on.
Have a great day. I'd be devastated, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yep.
Here's Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate Pocket Edition. Ooh. I feel like they'll have some other Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
I hope so, yeah.
But guess we'll see.
I think those are my biggest wishes for E3, but I'd be happy to get anything at this point. I just like video games and news, so
true.
Who knows?
Logan?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I want a third season of DLC for Smash Brothers, but I think it's over.
That's a big ask.
With that.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's been a hell of a 3 years.
I know.
It's just been so much fun, and I think it's ending, and it's just really sad because we don't know what the future of the series holds either, and it's my favorite game, one of my favorite series. So, and if not, I hope they just give it a heck of a send off with 2 awesome new character ads and then some trailer to like celebrate the game and maybe like a gold edition with all the DLC on. I would really like to future-proof things. That would be really nice. And I'd buy it because I'm a sucker. But yeah, I just Smash stuff. Looking forward to that. And then Monkey Ball now. Now that Kevin mentioned it, I hope that like the announcer's been teasing it was going to be. So hopefully something like that can happen. I hope that Halo is great. There's a lot of skepticism after last year. I hope it just comes out and has an awesome showing because, man, Halo 1 through Reach were so good. And I like 4 more than most. And then 5 is just so awful. And I just really want this series to get on the right path. And yeah, I thought it looked fun last year. I didn't have super big issues with it, but I hope it just comes out and blows everyone away. Don't know if it will because they've only had a year, but we'll see. It's been a year since we've seen it, so this could be its big coming out party.
It's pretty darn important for Microsoft too.
Yeah, and then Zelda. I want more than a teaser trailer. I want a title. I want a date. I want it to come out this fall. I don't think it's going to, but I want that. I want it to be like the big September or October game since we already know Pokemon's coming in November, and I just want to know what it is. Like, what is this game? Like,
we need more. We need something.
Yeah. Well, because we really don't have much of anything. We have that one trailer from a while back, and that's really it.
Yeah. And, like, I think that if Zelda has a big showing, I think it's going to be the game that gets talked about the most. And I hope we're talking about it a week from right now. And I hope we're talking about a lot that we know about it. Not too much, because I don't like to know a ton about Zelda going. Just a title. Do you play as Link? Do you play as Zelda? Is it a sequel? Is that Ganondorf? Why is he there? Is there going to be a Dark World? Are there going to be dungeons? Like, there's
don't want to know much, but I do want to know everything.
I want to know everything and nothing
within reason.
Yeah, but those are my big things. And then I said it the last 20. Gosh, Mario, come on, please, for the love of God, give me a new Mario Kart. We already talked about it this week, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping that next week we'll be talking about our first impressions of Sports Story, but who knows?
That'd be amazing.
That is still my prediction that it's going to get dropped.
The day one purchase all around. Yeah.
That will 100% not happen is a Burnout 3 remake from EA. It's not going to happen whatsoever, but that is my big one where I'm just like, please give it to me. You have released Burnout Paradise on absolutely everything. Give me Burnout 3 because Burnout 3 is a better game. Or either Burnout 3 remake or a new Burnout game in the style of those older ones would be my biggest wish from EA. But they're not going to do it. I have basically no expectations for that. For Nintendo, I feel like this could actually happen, getting a Rune Factory 5 release date. It's already out in Japan. I probably should have had that on last week's show, but I kind of forgot about it. So it is my wish that we're going to get a Rune Factory 5 release date in Nintendo's presentation. And then last, I'll go. I didn't say it last week. I do also want Mario Kart 9 a lot because I'm a big Mario Kart fan. I like Mario Kart 8 a lot. It hasn't gotten as stale since I never really played it on Wii U, but I feel like it's time, considering that we haven't had that new Mario Kart feel for over half a decade. 7
Tour
years.
Doesn't count. That Mario Kart
Tour does not
doesn't
count whatsoever. Tour is gross. Yeah, don't give me just more content for that, please. Mario Kart 9 would be really cool. I hope that they show that off. That would be a wish.
Oh, and I skipped over EA because I don't care about them in general.
Oh, yeah,
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order too.
Yeah, I was like, I skip over EA 90% of the time. I don't give a crap about anything.
What is EA?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of
Fallen Order
EA.
Sequel could easily be announced. That game came out late 2019. I think we could see an announcement for a sequel.
Yeah. Well, what, the PS5 upgrade version? Yeah,
that's coming out this summer, so that could be. I think it's coming out this month, so that could be a thing where they're like,
drum it up. Yeah. Drum up support for a new one with the release of this one. Yeah, we're just about there. Yeah, next week we'll be talking about all the stuff that happened.
We're so close.
Whew. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this last show?
E3's
before
fun.
E3?
I can't wait.
I miss it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because Nintendo's been doing the digital thing forever, so we know. I do wonder what it's going to look like for everyone else doing these digital only presentations,
right?
Because the same weekend.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I guess a couple of the other companies have started to try and do it. Square Enix had something, right?
There was.
They
Square
did
Enix
one
presentation.
Square
Oh,
Enix
yeah, they
thing.
did. Yeah.
So I feel like some have. They didn't really hit too well on that, and then others have not at all. So I'll be curious when they're all going all in on the digital showcases for E3.
Oh, I also want to see Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which got delayed.
Oh yeah.
I think that game could be really, really good. So I'm excited about that.
When did that get announced?
Like 3 years ago.
Jeez.
God,
Yeah.
much on the back burner.
Uh-huh.
Well, that'll get here eventually, I guess. All right. That is going to do it for us on this week's episode of Oda Games. Next week, we'll be talking all about E3, all of the announcements, all of the hopeful drops of games. So come back next week for all the thoughts on everything that was announced at E3. But for this week, we are done. We're here on Thursdays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, odagames.com, other podcast streaming services that you may use. The video version is up on YouTube at Oda Games, so you can check the video version of the podcast out there. We're on Twitter at Oda Games. You can send an email to odagamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.